in a weird time. The internet used to be where we went to escape reality. Now, reality is where we go to escape the internet. We had fun in the golden age of the web. We had the hamster dance, chat room, strong bad. We even had a lovable character called Salad Fingers, a guy who would caress rusty spoons and whisper to wall stains.
I like to touch them. The feeling of rust against my salad fingers is almost orgasmic.
And yet, somehow, that was less disturbing than what I saw on my feed this morning. Because we replaced salad fingers with guys who literally finger salads. We traded in Jenna marbles for women who pridefully and publicly lose their marbles. Every time I log on, I lose a little more faith in society and gain a hyper-specific phobia. Last week, it was glyphosate in my cereal. This week, it's the very thought of getting my seasonal color analysis wrong. Wait, what if I'm a winter and this whole time I've been dressing like a warm autumn? So in honor of the dark ages of the internet, we're counting down the top internet trends that should be banned, blocked, and deleted like a voice note from the girl who just discovered ayahuasca. First on my list is recipe ragebait. We've entered the era of culinary terrorism, where people are conducting experiments on human revulsion. They're constructing sandwiches on moldy bread, they're boiling spaghetti in hot dog water, they're doing anything that gets clicks. Anything, of course, other than producing anything of value. The goal isn't a meal, it's a reaction. They're not feeding themselves, they're feeding the algorithm.
Wait, we got one more special ingredient.
You're putting nerds in
Yes.
there.
They're gonna release the sugars, and it's gonna be just enough sweet.
And when the inmates aren't intentionally ruining food, they're letting food ruin them. Next on my list is what I eat in a day. SOS edition. Let's talk about the trend of very overweight people filming what they eat in a day. It's supposed to be body positive, but ends up being something between performance art and a slow motion medical emergency.
Big bag, big bag, big bag, big bag, big bag, big bag, big.
Why would anyone do that? Honestly, I think I found the one person online who would eat the food made by rage baiters. It's called closet eating because you're supposed to do it in private, not because you're supposed to eat everything in your pantry in one sitting. Put down the ding-dongs and go to therapy. Next on my list is oversharing gone wild. There's a special corner on the internet where women complain about their husbands like they're true crime victims, and he just emotionally murdered them by leaving a dish in the sink.
I went to put something in the trash and it was overflowing. And I went to get my son's water bottle and it was in the dishwasher with all the other clean dishes. And I felt so disrespected and unseen and unvalued at that point in time. And I remember texting my husband being like, what happened? Like, why didn't you do this? And he said, sorry, I was running late for work. And I remember thinking, oh my God, he doesn't see me.
You know what could probably solve this? If you spent a little less time airing your dirty laundry and a little more time doing actual laundry. Because listen, I don't doubt your husband is a loser, but in the time it took you to get camera ready, set up your ring light, film this, post it, post a caption, and reply to all your comments with 17 variations of yes, queen, you could have got every chore he didn't do in the house done by yourself. You probably would have had a little extra time to give him a reason to do more for you, if you catch my drift. And don't think men get off scot-free here, okay? Because the only reason you guys aren't getting your chores done is because you're too busy engaging in another online trend I can't stand. I'm talking about the trend where men molest their food. That did something to me. That did something. I don't think it was good. Pretty sure I just lost my last fertile egg. I done to deserve this? Am I a bad person? I think I'm finally starting to understand the Me Too movement because I did not consent to this. I just wanted dinner, not a deleted scene from 50 Shades of Gravy. Speaking of the Me Too movement, the brainless robots behind that nonsense have moved on to a new desperate attempt at a life purpose. They're attempting to better the world by ridding it of bad morning routines. I'm of course talking about morning routine videos, or what I like to call dystopian wake-up calls. There's a whole genre of content now where people treat waking up like it's a Sundance short film. They wake up at 4:45 a.m., tongue scrape, oil pull, and dry brush their lymph nodes, all before drinking some mysterious green liquid from a swamp outside Gwyneth Paltrow's estate. At 6:10 a.m., I pack my purse and head off to work. Then at 6:17, I remember I don't have a job and head back home. What makes this content especially disturbing is that this is their actual work. So it really makes you wonder, what does their morning routine before the morning routine look like? If I had to guess, I'd say it looks something like this. Next on our list is gender reveals. Once upon a time, a gender reveal was where the ultrasound technician put a little pink piece of paper in an envelope, you opened it with your husband and went, cool, it's a girl. Now, they're the cause of wildfire season. This trend reached peak popularity a few years ago and just refuses to die. Hey, now that I think about it, maybe this is why nobody could breathe back in 2020.
Start packing up! Huh? Start packing up!
Which brings me to the next trend I can't stand. The one where gender reveal parents actually have to raise their children. I'm of course talking about gentle parenting content. These people will be like, never yell at your child. Yelling spikes your child's cortisol and dysregulates their nervous system. Yeah, you know what spikes my cortisol and dysregulates my nervous system? Watching a toddler lie face down in the middle of a Salvation Army and lick the floor. And honestly, maybe we need our cortisol spiked every once in a while. You ever think of that? We have grown men identifying as wolves and women marrying roller coasters, and I'm pretty sure it's because none of them were ever told no.
Whoa, whoa, hey!
I will scream in this whole entire store and I will kick everything.
Speaking of people who have never been told they're wrong, next on my list is health influencers. I remember a time when well meant not sick. Now, it means chronically online and terrified of receipts. These health gurus change their minds so often, I'm convinced they're just rolling the dice behind the scenes at this point. One week, it's drink celery juice every morning or you'll die. The next week, it's actually celery causes leprosy and you should only be drinking bone broth in your own urine. This week, I saw an article online that claimed glass bottles have more microplastics than plastic ones. Can somebody explain to me how the there's more plastic in glass than there is in plastic? That's like saying there's more caffeine in a cucumber than there is in my morning coffee. Oh well, I guess we're just drinking air now, which unfortunately for us is also toxic. So that's it. These are the new trends that make me want to move out to the middle of nowhere and isolate myself from humanity. Oh wait, I already did that. If you made it through this list without rage-liking something ironically, congratulations. You're one of the few functioning adults left online. Remember, the internet thrives in chaos, but you don't have to. You're allowed to log off, touch grass, maybe even talk to another human being in person. Just please, don't film it.